Picked up this 50cc Chinese quad for a C note, so we're going to go ahead and tear into it. We were told the motor was blown, and I did charge up the little battery over there already, and when we went to start it, nothing happened. So we're going to go ahead and take the plastics off, and so far all we've done is just take off 4 screws in these 4 locations, and then 2 back here, and we're noticing the brake light screws need to come off, or sorry, brake light wires, so we can go ahead and do that. So get this black back brake light off. It's just this black and red connector here, so we'll take that off. Alright, so once we got this black and red wire connector off, now the whole back end is free to come up. So now we need to go up front, figure out where it's stuck. The gas tank is one spot. So it looks like someone put these wire ties on because there was some damage here, so we're going to take these off just for the sake of getting this plastic off. Maybe we'll do the same thing when it comes back to putting it together. Oh yeah, looks like this whole part got damaged. So in order to get the nose piece off, you got to come under and get these screws here. There's 4 of them.
Dad, I want to do it. I can lay down.
Right there. 1, 2, and then you can see over there 3 and 4 down there.
Did it.
All right, so we also need to take the ignition off so we can get to the 2 screws that are up in here connecting this front part on. So just unscrew that, pop the ignition down in, then you can get to the last 2 screws. So there's 6 screws total, 1, 2, 3 on each side. All right, so once you get all those screws out, the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then you can take that nose piece off. And then we have that bolt and nut there. And then on the other side as well, underneath that front wheel well. And then I believe we'll be ready to come off over the handlebars.
Got it.
All right, so now we're ready to take off the entire plastic, so we'll do the gas tank.
Ooh, the gas tank. Guys, we can get out of the way. He can't see. Ta-da! Yay! Yay, Daddy! It should get off. There we go. Cut the whole boom off. Daddy, got that.
So we got 1 screw here to get this off, and then we'll come around the handlebar. Can't actually get it off over the handlebars through that hole, so I'm going to go ahead and snip it here because it's just cheap plastic. You can decide if you want to take your handlebars off or not to get your plastics out of the way. You can also just work on it and leave the plastics towards the front like that, but again, plastics are not that important, mostly cosmetic, so I'm just going to chop it there. Alright, so believe it or not, it's actually been about a year since I filmed myself taking the plastics off of this guy. Life happens with kids, helping people move, that's what's going on. Right now, my garage is absolutely stuffed because I had to take all that stuff out of my trailer to let someone borrow it to move. So anyways, this thing finally ended up in the garage, and so my kid today inspired me to start working on it because he's like, I really want you to do this, Daddy. So here we are. I did find out in the last year, I'll just run down real quick, no spark, so that's why you can see the spark plug hanging out there. I did diagnose that with my spark tester, and I also just grounded it straight to the engine block there while the battery was hooked up and no spark. So I got myself some electrical parts here. So the 4 parts are the ignition coil, the CDI box, the starter solenoid, and the voltage regulator. Not going to make a video installing those because it's straightforward. Just take off the old ones, put the new one on that matches. There's lots of other videos you can find. And I'm not going to make a video on rebuilding this engine because you can also find those. Guys like Proska Brothers Garage has lots of videos of that kind. But I am going to show you how to remove the engine because I couldn't find another video doing that. Proska Bros starts with it on the bench. So here's how to remove the engine from the ATV. So I think we're going to want to drop both these foot stands on both sides that are connected there on the bottom. So we're going to flip it. I happen to have this milk crate or whatever you call that thing sitting here, so I might use that. Let's see. Pretty close to 13. Get our impact driver involved. Got some knee pads. It should be a lot quicker now. Runaway bolt. Alright, so you got a washer and a bolt. Now, you get the idea. Alright, so when the last one came out, the whole thing kind of just fell down. So now you have 8 bolts, 8 of these rubber pads. Now I'll set it back up just to get those out of the way there. Alright. Set that off to the side. Alright, so now before we take these engine mount bolts out and pull the whole thing, just got to make sure we have enough stuff disconnected that it'll come out. So just going to set it back up for a second, and we'll disconnect some of the stuff we need to disconnect. So, carburetor. Disconnect that. Make sure you don't lose your little O-ring there. There's your slide. Your needle. Okay. Be gentle with that. I'm actually going to bring that up here. And I like to wrap these in a bag or some plastic, just something to keep them from getting damaged or lost. Tape on there like so. Alright, then I got these two carburetor 10mm. Alright, so there's the carburetor flange and the O-ring. Get you closer to the action a little bit. Try to remove. So this guy's just a little squirter drain. And then this guy up here is the inlet. Definitely smells like some old stinky gas. It's not fresh, that's for sure. Alright, there's your carburetor. Like I said, the air filter busted off earlier, so this thing needs to get old cleaning, so we'll do that. It's got gas. Oh yeah, it's yellow. Ooh, that's some varnishy gas. So we'll go drain that in a bowl. Alright, so next thing we're gonna undo the exhaust. Because as you can see, the exhaust is attached on both sides. One pipe comes out of the engine here, turns into two pipes here, that, and over there. So we're actually gonna have the engine come out that side of the quad on the other side because this pipe is gonna stay here. So we'll just undo the exhaust flange. I'll give you another angle there. Let's undo the exhaust flange there. 10mm wrench. Nothing is very tight on this quad. As you can see, I went the other direction quite a few times before I figured out which way was lefty-loosey, and cheap stuff. Hopefully this is a worthwhile project. Good thing is you can buy lots of more cheap parts online, so question is, how long are you gonna spend? Constantly replacing stuff. Anyways, you get the idea. That same thing on the other side. There's two of them. All right, so we got the two exhaust nuts undone, but it is not just falling off. Little flange there is off, but so we're gonna give it some wax with a dead blow hammer. All right, it's off now. All right, now we'll go to the other side, and actually let's grab. Oh, that's correct. That's good thing I just noticed that. So that'll need to be replaced. This hose here, right on top of the engine, is no bueno. Looks like some sort of breather that just drains out the back. All right, so we've switched sides. We're on the left side, facing forward of the quad now. And we're going to get some of this stuff out of the way so we can pull it. We're going to have to take the chain off. But first, let's do some of these wires. So I'm going to snip some of this off so we can access it easier. Not snip the wires, but just the little zip ties. There's your starter solenoid. So I guess that's the holder for it. As you could have guessed, 10 millimeter. Just put the nut right back on. Okay, so now that's free. Slide this guy back in his little house just for the time being. Alright, so that's free. Now this guy, got your way so you can see this guy coming off the top. The GTO side cover. Okay, and that disconnects there. That. Now this guy. It's that back side right there. Not 100% sure what this guy was supposed to go to. I believe it's a ground. So just a ground wire, so. Okay, so yeah, this is your positive battery. Going to your starter solenoid. This is your negative, off the negative battery, just going to a ground. So that's what those two are. All right, so now it's time to take the chain off and then the engine mounts, and it should be ready to come this way. So let's take the chain cover off. Those look like smaller than 10. Yep, they're probably going to be like 8 mils there. All right, so all I did was tilt the quad up on its side again. And these are going to be 8 millimeter. So we got one here. And one here with the ground screw attached. Okay, there's your ground wire. Chain cover comes off. Got some nice debris in there. Clean that out. All right, and then to loosen the chain, just turn these. Yeah, loosen up them bolts too, and then it'll slide. All right, so this guy's gonna be a 10 and a 12. It's weird they have two different sizes on there. All right, so that's a 1/2 inch on top. That's a 13 on the bottom. Let me try the 12. Nope. 13. All right, so neither of those are tight. So I have to stand it back up and get that to slide forward, or at least scoot out of the way a little bit. Scooch you back. Alright, see what happens. Alright, let's get some love taps. Sorry, you probably couldn't see anything the whole time. Just gonna give some love taps back here. We're trying to push this forward. Get this chain to loosen up. Almost there. Gotta loosen them nuts up more. Alright, let me take those nuts all the way. Should have done this a long time ago. Uh-oh. Maybe I should get a real hammer. Maybe that's what she wants. You want the real hammer? Just ask for it next time. Don't be shy. That's all you wanted. The real hammer. Alrighty. The engine should be ready to come out. Let's get them babies popped off. Do the bottom two, leave the top two, and then flip her over and then do those ones. We'll start them, but falling on us. Oh, whoop, whoop. Oh. Hopefully you can still see. All right, only one bolt's holding it. Put her down. I'll scoot you back. Do the shit with the old socket. Alright, now the question is, did we get everything we were supposed to? Or is something still attached? Where did I put them other bolts at? The engine mount bolts disappeared. Oh, still got a bolt over here. There's one right there, you see it? Let me move you over. Alright, and the last remaining engine mount bolt, I believe, is there, and it's a through bolt that goes through the other side. So that there is a 10 mil. And the nut on the other side appears to be a 12. Alright, there goes nothing. There she is, big long bolt. Now we have a free engine. Success. Scoot you out for the final removal. That is how you remove the 49cc engine on your Chinese quad. There she is. Take it to your bench.